I want to introduce to you this morning a very important name. Mr. Dedman believes in what we're doing. He believes in you. And he works for a company that I'll let him tell you a little bit about. But he is 95% of the reason that you're able to be here today. Because he saw the best in you. And he convinced his company that they should invest in you. And so they invested in you, and he is our co-sponsor for this week's program. So I'm going to bring up Mr. Ronnie Dedman. You're going to give him your undivided attention, and you're going to give him a huge round of applause.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you all?
Great. How are you?
I'm great this morning. I'm glad to be here. It's really, really, really an honor and a privilege for me to be here with you all this morning. You guys have a cell phone? Anybody have a cell phone?
No. Yes.
Do you know someone that has a cell phone?
Yes.
Is it an AT&T cell phone?
Yes.
Did you say yes? If somebody said no, throw it in the trash. I won't hear it. No, actually, okay, how about this? Anybody got a Cricket phone?
Yeah.
Did you know that AT&T owns Cricket? You didn't know that, did you?
Yeah, I did.
You knew that?
Okay. Cricket uses AT&T towers.
Well, you know more than I know about this deal here. So, AT&T is certainly proud to be a sponsor of this event today. Now, do you all know the significance of where you are today? This is the Milton P. Crenshaw Academy. Do you all know who Milton P. Crenshaw was? But you're going to learn a little bit later today who Mr. Crenshaw was. But what I want to start out with is I had the distinct honor 5 years ago of meeting Mr. Crenshaw. Now, for those of you all who don't know him, you know who LeBron James is? Yeah. You know who Stephen Curry is?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Crenshaw was the LeBron James of aviation. And he lived right here, in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I had the distinct honor 5 years ago, I went to a veterans event one day, and I walked in a room, it was maybe 3 or 4 times the size of this room, and a lot of people in the room, and there was veterans everywhere in the room, and I saw people kind of pointing over in that direction. So I'm trying to figure out who they're pointing at and why there is so much attention focused at this group of people over here. And I whispered to someone, how about you all, everybody turn around and face me.
Yes.
And make yourself comfortable.
And if everybody can make sure you sit up. And
yeah, I won't be long,
attention.
I promise you I won't be long. So anyway, I asked someone who was the gentleman in the corner that everybody was looking at and pointing at. And they said, that's Milton Crenshaw. Well, that's all they had to tell me, because I knew him, his history, and also I knew the history of the Tuskegee Airmen. So I made my way over to shake Mr. Crenshaw's hand and have the pleasure of meeting him and establishing a relationship with him. Well, fast forward a couple of years after that, AT&T had an occasion and a need to honor some veterans around town. So I said, why not honor Mr. Crenshaw? And that's exactly what we did. So I, again, had the honor and the privilege to be part of and witness history. Milton P. Crenshaw, a gentleman who had the same skin color as many of us in this room, was a very distinguished gentleman. So when Cheryl and others called me about being part of this, it was not a hard decision for AT&T to say yes. So we are glad that we were able to do that. Cheryl, you were ringing that bell earlier. Sometimes I have an occasion to talk to groups, and maybe, I don't think you all have been in the groups of students that I've talked to before over at AT&T. And I'll have someone sitting in the audience, and I'll have them ring that bell, a bell, every 26 seconds. And it's pretty distracting, pretty annoying, and people in the room don't know why the bell is ringing until I tell them why that bell is ringing. So I'm asking that person to ring that bell about every 26 seconds, okay? So after we're in the program, 15, 20, 30 minutes, I tell them why we're ringing the bell. And what I tell them is that every time that bell rung, it is symbolic of someone dropping out of high school, a student dropping out of high school, about every 26 seconds. Now imagine that. So just, I don't know, I've been up here a couple of minutes talking. You've had 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 people in the United States that will have dropped out of high school. Well, that's why AT&T does what we do, because we care, and because we're committed, and because we need people like you all in this room to run our business when people like me get ready to leave our company. And somebody said something about my age back there. Where's that man? Did he leave when he said, how old are you?
45.
Oh, 45. Well, I thought you were going to be younger than 39. I've been working for AT&T for 39 years.
Wow.
39 years. And I'll tell you that, you know, back in the time when I was coming up in the early 70s and late 60s in rural Arkansas, there were many who said that just based on all the circumstances around me that I didn't have much of a chance to succeed. Okay. I came from what so many people call a dysfunctional family. I was raised by my grandmother. She was about that tall. Okay, here's the truth of the matter. I didn't know who my father was. Didn't know. And the people around me picked cotton, chopped cotton, worked in the local factory. And that's what I knew. But I will tell you that the great equalizer for me and for so many. My grandmother was not an educated lady, but she was smart, well beyond her years, well beyond her years. She said, boy, you're going to get an education. So for me and for you, education is the great equalizer. Great equalizer. And you're going to hear from a lot of folks today and this week who will probably reinforce what I tell you about the importance and the significance of an education. And the other thing that's important about you all being here is what you're studying. STEM. Y'all have heard that acronym before, right? All those hard classes, right? Well, one thing I didn't do, Cheryl, was I didn't, and I wish I could have, I didn't take all those hard classes. Like those smart guys over there in uniforms, those engineers over there. I mean, they're the smart guys. But that also separates you from the other folks. So that's why it's important for you to be here. I know your focus this week will be on aviation and those types of things. But at my company, every year we hire about 23,000 people. 23,000. And 3/4 of those folks come from STEM-related studies, okay? Science, technology, engineering, math. Folks that work for us have to hit the ground running, and that gives them the advantage to do so, okay? But while you're doing that, I want you to also remember those other skills that go along with being smart. Those soft skills that we sometimes don't talk to folks about. That's showing up for work on time. Being respectful of others. So you see, you need all that to be successful in whatever you do. So Cheryl, I'll just say again on behalf of AT&T and myself, I made you work a little bit hard, but I was already sold when you called me, and I knew that we would find the money to support what you guys are doing here. So again, on behalf of AT&T, good luck, learn a lot, and have some fun.
Okay. So how many people does AT&T hire?
23,000.
How many people does AT&T hire?
23,000.
Okay, remember that number this week. You gotta remember that number this week, right? Okay? Excuse me? Okay? We're now going to hear from, oh, yes, we want to do something really, really great. We're gonna take a group picture with Mr. Debbie. How's that? So we want everybody to kind of, you know, take it from this one?
Yeah, if everybody can come up here.
You want it this way?
I'd like to get the logo.
Yeah,
I'm
from
gonna
this
put
way.
you in the center.
Okay, so don't everybody bum brush me, but everybody kind of head toward the front. Quietly.
We can get our photo.
If you're a little tall, you can get behind, so the shorter, folks can get in the front. Come on, volunteers. Come on, volunteers. Come on, volunteers. She got you taking the picture. Oh, volunteers. Councilman Lloyd. Who's Councilman Lloyd? You can step out here. Take your screensaver off.
Oh! Everyone's running.
Take your screensaver off. Hey, Will.
Everybody turn.
There you go. Is this in the, is this out of the picture? I don't want to get this attention.
Hold that down.
Everybody good?
Make sure you can see the camera.
Hello?
Do me a favor. You're gonna have to be all the way to the back. Would you remove that paper?
She said she couldn't see you in the back, Michelle, you need to come help her.
You can see what? Okay. Hold that spot. I'm gonna get right back there. But I want to make sure if you can't see ahead of you, the camera won't see you.
Turn sideways.
Does that make, okay, that's perfect.
Turn sideways.
Okay. So you all know, okay, now where are you? Shirley?
I'm gonna leave this because you all can clean this up, whoever make this mess.
Okay, and listen here.
No, let me go.
So we want to make sure we can. Make sure you see the logo.
Step behind them.
Wait a minute, let me put that out front.
Do we need that back?
Yeah, we'll get this way. Okay, you're in front of the.
Hold on a second. Do you think you could maybe put the logo here and then
Let's
sit
see.
around it?
You know what, yeah, let's put the logo here.
Okay, in the middle, put it in the middle.
Watch your ankles. It's not me.
Got it? Got it?
Okay, and why don't you get right on the side? So, you can get in front. Why don't you get in front?
You okay with that?
Y'all get in front. Y'all come.
Yeah, just like that. That's
Yeah.
good.
You good?
No. Okay, so is it anyone that cannot see the camera? If you can't see the camera, someone is blocking you.
Everybody can see? You got a hole right here.
We have a whole.
No, just turn on that. I'm sorry.
Okay, everybody's ready?
You got everybody?
And you're gonna have to hold about 5 seconds for it to take. I don't think it's taking because the flash. Okay, don't, hold on.
Did you push it down halfway and let it focus and then push it all the way down?
See, this is what you're gonna have to